Did we just tease something?
I hit it 200 yards down the middle of the fairway.
Did you really?
When I first started golfing, it was like I was like chopping wood.
This is Between Two Bags. I'm Aaron from Bogey Two Putt, and today my guest is Waiyi Chan.
Hi, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for doing this with me.
Yes, of course. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. And the concept of the show is to simply talk about golf between two bags. Tell us about yourself.
I was born in Cuba and never would have thought that I would get into golf the way I have.
I mean, you coming over at 8 or 9 years old, you were already a young girl coming into the States. What was that like?
It was tough because it was a completely different atmosphere and just everyone was different. I felt kind of out of place. But what was interesting was I remember that the first time I ever had fruit, for example, and chips, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. So coming here and being able to have that, those things made me I was happy, but then at the same time I was guilty. And there was a lot of death in my childhood moving because I remember my friends and family and I was like, well, I'm living this great life now, but there's still, I still remembered what I went through throughout my childhood. I was like, well, no, this is my life and I'm thankful and I should just be happy. And my mom's like, be happy for what you have. You're fortunate. Yeah. Never take anything for granted. And I never did. And when I did go back to Cuba, then that guilt kind of came back. So it been a very challenging journey. And I do want to go back. And when you mentioned, that when I first saw your page and I saw you were in Cuba doing what you were doing, golfing, showing them, I was like, wow, like this is amazing. And this is what I hope to do when I get the opportunity, if it's possible.
Thank you for sharing that story. I think that really understanding where people come from is really important to understanding where they are today and where they're headed. We all have our stories and we're all on this journey. And I just think that your story is truly unique. And having gone to Cuba for 12 years now, initially to play baseball and now as a humanitarian, I have friends there. I have family there. I have people I stay with there. And I'll tell you, this last trip in January when I was in Cienfuegos and dealing with, call it 20 hours a day of no electricity, porque no hay corriente, okay? Like the signs are up everywhere, no hay corriente, no hay corriente. That was really taxing. And all I kept thinking was, man, I'm here for 2 weeks dealing with this. I couldn't imagine having, like, this is the living situation. Going back to Cuba has become a humanitarian effort for me. And I absolutely love the impact that I'm making. And I also think it's really interesting that you saw my content, because my whole thing was I wanted to take golf to Cuba. I've been playing baseball there for years. I knew they had the swing. Yeah. Right? They're peloteros 100%.
Yeah. Everyone's like, how did you start golfing? I was like, I don't know. I played baseball since I was a little kid and maybe it's similar. So they do have the swing. And I think if little kids are introduced, if some sort of free clinics or something, it'll just be something great to introduce them to.
Maybe that's something we should do together.
I think so.
Did we just tease something? So tell me about your golf story.
Yeah, so I owned a nail salon in Lincoln Park and I opened about 8 months prior to COVID. Okay. Worked on this for some time, Lincoln Park here in Chicago, and was very excited. We're doing amazing. And then all of a sudden, March 2020 comes. Chicago was very strict on the lockdown. Yeah. Regulations, so we had to shut down, opened again, and then there was another shutdown. And during that shutdown, I went to Lake Geneva with a group of friends because Wisconsin was open, and they were like, "Here, hit a celebrity driver shot."
Interesting.
And I did, and it was the first time I ever swung a club. And
you actually hit the ball?
I hit it 200 yards down the middle of the fairway.
Did you really?
First swing ever.
Holy crap.
I was like, if I could do that every time now.
Yeah.
And they were like, have you golfed before? I was like, no, this is my first time ever swinging a golf club. And they're like, what, you're really good. And that day I kept, putting and I was like, this is fun. So got into it. A friend of mine started doing it, got clubs, started practicing, never took a lesson, just watched YouTube videos. Yeah. And one day, a friend of mine just took a video of my swing, posted it, and it got over like 300,000 views. And I had brands reaching out to sponsor me and collaborate, and it just took off. And I went from 2,000 followers on Instagram that were just like friends and random strangers to now 140,000. Wow. So it's been, and at the time, I I was like, oh, I had to close my business. This is so sad.
Yeah.
I was so depressed. But what it allowed for me to do and what I'm doing now, I was like, this was meant to be. So I'm not thanking COVID for happening, but I'm thinking, my whole life, just everything, I love golf. I'm passionate about it. And to be able to do what you love every day and make money doing it it's great.
Like just grabbing a club and driving the ball 200 yards, like that's almost unheard of. Because even as like a baseball player turned golfer, when I first started playing, I had a hard time just making contact with the ball, let alone drive the ball anywhere. So let me ask you this. You talked about watching videos and that type of thing. So my story is that I watch Rick Shields videos. I had a used set of TaylorMade M6s and I just went to the driving range and just tried stuff. I was finding that my like baseball athleticism was kicking in and the hip turn and the whole thing. What other sports did you play as a kid that may equate to you being able to play golf?
I played baseball in Cuba, and then when I got here, I played it for fun. It wasn't really something I did during school or anything like that. I ran track for a bit and then played tennis. So
do you think it's the tennis, just hand-eye coordination? And
I think so. And I am Cuban, but I'm also half Chinese.
Okay.
And my dad and I would play ping pong a lot. And I don't, that's also a lot of hand-eye coordination. I'm also very visual. So if I see something, I can like kind of just replicate that easily. So when the first time my friends were like, you do this, boom, swing, I was like, and I was watching what they were doing. I was like, okay, I could do that. So I think all of it combined, it was a natural thing.
What's that journey been like as a golf influencer?
I've built so many genuine relationships through golf. I've met some of my best friends now. I've met through golf, either at events or just through collaborations with other brands. And it's been something that I didn't know how far, when I started, I didn't know how far it would take me. And it's taken me, golf is opening up so much right now. And there's so many opportunities and it's becoming more accessible to more people.
Yeah.
And that I love that. And I love that I'm part of that. And I kind of got started when everyone started it.
Like, what are you have you ever taken a lesson? Are you just a natural athlete? Like, where's all this coming from?
I've taken lessons. I typically take a lesson from one coach that I met through a friend. He works at a country club here and he's great. What I like about him is that he's not as technical. I have gone to a coach who's technical, like way too technical, drawing little things on my pictures and telling me all sorts of things. And I'm like, I'm not Tiger Woods. So,
and you don't want to be,
right?
And you never will be. None of us will be.
Yeah. And I'm just like, that's just not that doesn't work for me. So, who I go to now, he's just gives me one or two things that I need to fix in that moment. It's always changing. And it works. And I just focus on that and kind of for me, it's more about feel. Yeah. So I'll just go to the range, work on that thought over and over again until I hit that shot and it just feels like natural.
Yeah. No, it's really good. And I think the other thing that I've been telling people who want to get into the game, they're like, oh, I need to hire a coach. And I'm like, yes, you need to hire a coach, but I think it's really important that people go and interview the coach first. You need to determine fit, right? Like style of learning, like how you like to learn. And oftentimes I just find that coaches just come at you and try to rip apart the 47 things that you need to work on. And for me, it's just information overload. But don't give me 37 things to work on because I can't deal. And so I actually think people need to interview their coaches.
I think so too. And I get coaches all the time on Instagram trying to give me tips. And I was like, I didn't ask you. So.
Where has golf taken you? Because I see you with a Masters 2025 hat on and I'm so jealous that you got to go.
Going to the Masters was a bucket list item for me. It was on my list, top of my list. Yep. Yeah. I didn't think it would happen in 2025. Okay. And so it was just a surreal moment being there. It was not having a phone for the first 20 minutes. My hands were I was shaky.
Detoxing?
I was like,
yeah.
And then after those first 20 minutes, I just was so present and was talking to people and watching golf and seeing just looking at the trees and the flowers. And Augusta is just a beautiful, beautiful place. Very fortunate that I was able to go. And I don't think, if you don't know much about golf, my mom was like, "Oh, you're going to the Masters, okay?" And then my stepdad was like, "She's at the Masters."
When you first started playing, like, did you just buy some clubs and now you've upgraded and got them fitted, or where are you at now?
So when I first started playing, I got a starter set at the PGA Tour Superstore and wasn't fitted, nothing. They were very long, and I'm 5'1.5", 5'2" on a good day.
Yeah.
So I realized that I was adjusting my stance to fit the club, and I was like, I don't want to get used to this. And then when I do get fitted, because everyone kept telling me, don't get fitted right away unless you're serious about it. Don't spend all this money. I ended up getting a sponsorship with a brand, and they sent me clubs, and I fitted those clubs.
Good for you.
To my stance, my weight, how, I use senior men's shafts.
Oh, darling. Are they shorter?
Yeah, they're shorter and they weigh less.
Okay. Yeah. So you can keep your club head speed and still strike the ball like you need to.
Right.
That's the beautiful part of getting fitted, by the way, is even for you, like, to just go in from a height perspective, right? Because you knew those clubs off the rack were not made for somebody 5'1.5" or 5'2" on a good day, right? Like, they're not. They're made for like women that are probably 5'5" to 5'8", and that's not you. And so for you to go in and get fitted and then to work on the weight of the shafts, because I'll tell you, like, in the past, like, I've swung 110 gram iron shafts, and as I get older, you just start losing muscle mass,
right?
And you need to be able to keep your ball speed up. And I think it's actually a really good message for anybody that's watching this too,
right?
Even if they're just starting out, don't go and take your grandfather's clubs and think you're going to hit 1975 blades and have a good time out here. We're going to switch gears just a little bit. Dream Golf Foursome. So they can be dead, alive, or fictional. What are you thinking about?
So Rory McIlroy is my favorite golfer ever. So definitely him.
Okay.
Charley Hull, Nelly Korda, and Miles Teller.
Nice. So Charley Hull, I saw play at the JM Eagle Championship at the Wilshire Country Club in Hollywood last year. She was not smoking any cigarettes, by the way. I have to tell you, when I was watching her play, she was wearing one golf outfit on hole 1, and my hole 8, she had done a complete costume change.
Oh.
I've never seen that in golf, where she was literally wearing a completely different outfit.
Maybe something happened.
I don't know. Or maybe it's part of her deal. I don't know. So that was interesting. She's an amazing ball striker, by the way.
Yeah.
Nelly Korda, I saw play last week at the JN Eagle, and she went right with her drive, and the ball was right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, that's Nelly Korda. Her swing is like magical.
Right.
And it's not aggressive. It's smooth. It's dialed. It's like just unbelievably smooth.
I started watching her videos on YouTube when I first got into golf.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would tell myself a lot. It's just like nice and easy, because her swing is just so effortless.
Yeah.
And when I first started golfing, it was like I was like chopping wood. I was like,
me too.
So
I still do.
I would just view her swing in my brain, and I'd be like, okay, nice and easy.
Who is Miles Teller?
Miles.
I don't know who he is. I'm sorry.
He is an actor, and he was in Top Gun, Maverick.
Okay.
He was Rooster. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's one of my favorite actors, and I've seen his swing, and he's golfed in tournaments, and just he looks like a good time. Like, he'd be fun.
Okay. Note taken, Miles Teller. What are your thoughts on YouTube golf and things that are happening around LIV and PGA players? And there's just a lot going on in the space, and you're in the middle of it, obviously.
I do love LIV and YouTubers and content creators coming together and playing. It makes golf more relatable and it makes it less intimidating for the normal person that's trying to get into it. So it's great.
It's really interesting, because I'll tell you, I just got introduced to like Barstool Sports and Riggs. Riggs plays golf like me. Riggs says he's like, I don't know, a 9 or a 10 handicap or something, and that's going to be debatable probably till the end of the world. But like, he plays like me, where he has one good shot, one bad shot, one good shot, one bad shot. And you just said the word relatable. I think it's really important that the content that's out there, it is relatable. Because as an example, I'll watch Good, and I'm like, wow, those guys can flat out play. Not relatable to me, right? Watching Grant Horvat play. Not relatable, entertaining, and good, But now that I'm starting to see more regular golfers go out and play, obviously the content quality and the production value is not as good because they don't have the sponsorship dollars behind them. But I just love the idea of growing the game and getting more people interested in it. I think the other thing you said earlier too was around like how you learn to play.
Right.
You went to YouTube, you found something or somebody that you could relate to. And for me, it was Rick Shields. Rick Shields' early videos were like how to grip a club, how to take the club back, where to put the ball between your feet. Like it was really remedial basic stuff, but I needed it. And I have to tell you a quick story. I know I'm asking you all the questions, but I have to tell you a quick story.
Yeah.
This past summer, I was playing in a members guest tournament at Tustin Ranch in Orange County. And the guy I was playing with was in like second place in overall points. And he needed to place top 3 in this tournament to get like the parking spot out front and to win the tournament or whatever. And so it was pretty intense. Okay. He's a former Marine of like 30 years. He was a great golfer, by the way. He was so fun to watch play. But honestly, he needed my 16 handicap because I got to stroke a hole. And anytime I parred a hole, it was a net birdie. Right. So he needed me to lower scores. We're on day 2. We are in the hunt. We are top 5 and he needs to be top 3. And I could just see the intensity dial up in him. I drove the ball just banana slice awful, right? He starts trying to give me a lesson as I'm walking back to the cart. And I said to him, listen, not going to say his name. Not now, not ever.
Right.
I said to him, if you don't have PGA at the end of your name, not taking your advice. And especially on a golf course in the middle of a tournament that you know we need to perform.
Right.
And so it's like, for me, that's just such a huge red flag when somebody's giving advice. Digitally, everyone has something to say about everything. But like in person, back up, dude.
No, I agree with you. It's my biggest pet peeve. And as a female golfer on social media with mainly male following, I get men commenting on my swing all the time. And I'm like, you probably suck.
It's funny. I play as a single a lot in LA. And the one thing I always tell people, I'm like, 1, I play from the whites because that's where I need to play right now. I have not graduated to the blues yet. So I'm going to play from the whites. I putt everything out because I want an honest handicap because I compete in LA as well. And 3, there is no judgment from me to you on the golf course. I literally say this to them because I think sometimes you get to the course and if you play as a single, everyone's always kind of sniffing each other out like dogs. It's like, oh, I wonder if he can play. I wonder if she can play. And like, sometimes I'll dress like a tour pro, but like, and that's just all show, by the way. It's all show. And honestly, like I play like the average Joe, but I always tell people I'm not judging you.
Yeah.
And I always tell them that because honestly, I don't want them to judge me either.
Right.
This game is really hard.
It's such a mental sport.
Yeah.
And that's why I prefer walking because it gives me time to prep for the next shot. Whereas like if I'm in a golf cart, I'm like, do. So yeah, I tell my friends when we play, I'm like, and they get, sometimes guys get frustrated. You could see it when I'm like, in golf is so mental. If you're going to be stuck about the bad shot with the bad shot you just hit, you're not. That's it. That's the rest of your round.
That next shot mentality is critical. And I'm with you on the walking, especially flat courses like we're here, right? At, where are we? Cog Hill?
Cog Hill.
At Cog Hill.
In Lemont.
In Lemont. This is a beautiful course, but it looks pretty flat and very walkable.
Yeah.
And I'm with you. Like, I like to hit the ball and then walk. And then as I'm walking up towards the green, you can start getting an early look at the green and see the breaks and things like that. In a golf cart, I feel like I'm like, hurry up and wait. Almost like at the airport. Like, hurry up and get there and now wait. And I get anxious when I'm moving too quick. And the birds chirping, the wind blowing, the sun is warm. Like, I'm taking it all in on a stroll. And I think that was the thing that really grabbed me in golf too, was just the mental part of it and how it's just calming and it's like being on a 4-hour hike.
Yeah, it's very zen.
It was really nice to meet you today. Thank you so much for doing this with me. I learned a lot about you in terms of your journey from Cuba here to the States, your golf journey and practice and everything that you've been doing to just get better at this game and grow the game. I think that's one of the most important things that I learned during my time with you is that you're using your platform to inspire, to grow the game. And I think we have a lot in common as well in terms of walking the golf course.
Yeah.
Unsolicited advice, take a hike, right? And so I have an idea. You want to go hit some balls?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's go.